to you from the STEM lab in Swartz Creek, and today I'm going to be bringing you a 4th grade lesson on tectonic plates, and we're going to introduce a little bit of fossils. I'm going to do the lab here in the classroom, and then I'm going to let your teachers elaborate on it more in your Google Classroom. So, what I have here in front of me is actually a chamber that we're going to use so that we can see the different levels in the soil so that we know our timelines. And then we're going to use this device to push that soil and see what happens to it. See if we can look at how the different plates in the earth shift as there's pressure put on them. And then I have some pieces here that we're going to introduce in there as fossils, and we'll just see what happens to those. So we need to build our Earth's surface or crust. So let's get introducing that now. And I have a lot of things here on the table that I'm going to do that we can see different colored layers. One thing I have here, we're going to pretend this is rocks. This is actually corn cob, but I'm going to put it in the bottom, and we're going to pretend this is our rock layer. So we're going to put that in there. I want to make sure we can see that. Now, you might consider the fact that this would be close to the Earth's core, right? So this would be down kind of close to what's in the Earth's core. Anybody got an answer? If you do, post it to your Google Classroom. And then let's just, for color's sake, we're going to add some soil. So we'll get that in there so we can see it. We got a layer of soil in there. Let's do something interesting. Let's add some flour to it. Let me grab something here. A cup so that we can introduce some flour. I like this because it's just really visible. You can see that in there. Hopefully we'll be able to see what it does when we put pressure on our different earth layers here. So we're going to make sure we fill this in. We want to be able to see a nice layer in there. Can you see that layer? I'm going to take a peek. Oh yeah, I can see that layer. Now we're going to pretend, oh, this is around the period of the, how about the Ice Age? Let's lay in some fossils. I'm going to put these right here in the front by the glass. Maybe I should have picked a different color because they might not show up in this white. We'll save a couple of fossils and we'll put them in a different layer. On top of that, I'm going to add some sand. Let's put in some sand, because you can really see sand. Just like that. And just so we can see them, we'll add a last pieces of fossil in here. Hopefully we'll be able to see them, I don't know. This might end up being an archaeology dig later, trying to find our fossils. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce some more soil. We'll put another layer in here. So those fossils, I don't know, maybe that was something that happened during Mount Vesuvius. There's something to research and watch a video on. Who knows about Mount Vesuvius and what happened there? If you find out, add some information to your Google Classroom for your other students. It's pretty cool information. All right, so here we go. So we have our different layers of the Earth's crust, or Earth's layers, each one signified by a different color. I'm going to push on the rod here to move the plate. And what we're going to do is see what happens to these layers when pressure is applied to them. Now that pressure would be considered most likely an earthquake, or in some instances a volcano, but in the instance of what we're doing right now, we're going to consider it being an earthquake. Miss Billy's got too much dust in her throat. Coughed into my elbow. All right, so here we go. Let's move this out of the way so you can see everything I'm doing here. I haven't done this lab yet, so let's see what happens. Here we go. So Earth starts to shake, pressure's applied on the surface or on the soils. as the Earth's crusts are shifting? And do we see anything starting to take place? Other than my tool maybe starting to break. What is happening to our soil? What do we see happening? So when I started to take my apparatus apart here where I did my Earth's plates, I pulled my ramming device back and something very interesting occurred, and I just wanted to share that real quick. Look at how these different plates fell off when the pressure was removed or changed. So what does this remind you of? Look at down in here, you can see the different layers. This is an interesting situation here and here. Look at the cliff that it developed here. Think about this. How could you label these different spots? I could say that the ocean is in here and this is the water running in, or perhaps erosion from rain has created this situation. I'd be interested to see how you would like to explain something like this occurring. What do we see happening right in here? What happened to the level of the soil on the crust or the surface? And what happened to the layers underneath? What happened to our fossils? These are all good questions, and I want you to make sure that you post your questions and answers, if you have them already, on your Google Classroom so your teacher can see them. Also, look to your teacher's comments in this particular lab. I'm sure she's going to post some questions she'd like you to consider. In the meantime, make sure you wash your hands, don't touch your face, and stay healthy. We'll see you back here in the lab real soon.